My parents had a storybook romance that began when, by Beshert, they were both vacationing on the sunny coast of Ibiza. My mother, Helga Reinsch, 16 years old, saw Mario Pellegrino strolling by. He was wearing his spotless Italian officer's white naval dress uniform. She turned to her parents and said, "This is the man I'm going to marry." Soon afterwards, Mario was posted as a diplomat at the Italian embassy in Berlin where Helga lived. She was German Jewish and he was Italian Catholic. A year later, they had a Jewish wedding. I was born in 1938 and the family celebrated my bris. Afterwards, to protect us, my mother and I were baptized in the Catholic faith. Until World War II, my mother's family had lived in Germany for over 150 years and they were fully assimilated. My grandfather fought in World War I. For his bravery, he was awarded the Iron Cross Medal First Class. It protected him from abuse when, in 1936, the Nazis arrested and imprisoned him into the Sachsenhausen camp. He was released only after my family paid a ransom. Racial laws were imposed and daily life worsened. When my mother would take me for a walk, she draped an Italian flag over the baby carriage to avoid harassment and even violence by Berliners. As life hardened and with no future in Germany, 3 of my family chose to emigrate to the USA. My great-grandmother, grandfather, and grandmother were forced to sell all their real estate holdings and valuable possessions, and they received only 25% of market value. With entry visas in hand, my family was cleared to leave to America, but only after paying exit visas from Germany. Their escape was realized when our American relatives posted a sizable bond, allowing them to flee from Germany and enter the USA. Once out of Germany, even holding entry permits, they and others could not disembark in America due to restrictive quotas that were imposed by U.S. laws. My family and many others were detained in Cuba. 2 years later, when their turn came, they departed to America, but only after a sizable ransom was paid directly to Cuba's dictator. Later, in 1939, my parents and I were to sail to America on the St. Louis. But in Hamburg, my mother's luggage did not arrive on the dock, and she refused to board the ship. Her decision was fortunate. With no other options, Jewish passengers were returned to their native countries, and most ultimately perished in the camps. With the start of the war, the British began bombing German military targets, Berlin and other cities. In 1943, my father recognized that all our lives were in danger and the 3 of us left for Italy. Once in Italy, we lived with my father's family in Tuscany. Our relatives welcomed us as family and protected us throughout the war. We quickly learned to speak Italian. We looked like Italians and blended in, but still, day by day, we feared for our lives. We moved frequently to avoid detection during Nazi roundups of Jews and resistance fighters. We found safety in haystacks, caves, hay wagons covered with manure, and barns. During the day, my father, able to speak 6 languages, worked for the ranking German army officer in the region as a translator. At night, Mario commanded a group of partisans who raided German installations and blew up ammo dumps, sabotaged facilities, and disrupted German operations. He was able to convey intelligence information to the U.S. Army as it marched north to free Italy from Nazi occupation. He was recognized as a hero and a patriot. In 1947, we immigrated to New York City, and life was a struggle. For the first time in their lives, my grandmother and mother had to go to work in low-paying jobs. It was hard for us all. We proudly became citizens in 1952. I've been married for 51 years. When my wife Eileen gave birth to our first son in 1965, my grandmother held her great-grandson and shouted in the hospital corridor, "Mr. Hitler, you didn't win." We are indeed blessed and fortunate.